Okay, I'm Jeff Wise, and this is Chad. I'm sorry, this is Chad, and this is Dre, and I'm Jeff, and we want to welcome you guys back for the final segment of the Fan Spot, and we want to continue our talk about these cardiac Cowboys, because I think we're all kind of sitting here sweating and trying to figure out what's going to happen this Sunday. But I tell you, I'm pretty confident that the Cowboys are going to win this game. I think that this is the game that the Cowboys win, and I think we start to get on a little bit of a roll here. So
I'm confident. I'm always going to be confident, But my thing is just that, it's been too many times. There's been too many times where we have the game, and just some form or fashion, we wind up doing something bonehead, or whether it's a fumble, whether it's a turnover, whether it's coaching issues or whatever, we find some way to lose the game.
And you know what? And I can't necessarily say that I disagree with that. That I think that we have been kind of snake bitten in that way. But you know what? Thinking about that, I was kind of going over it in my mind the other day about some of those same things, because someone else had brought that to my attention. And you know what? It seems to me that with the Cowboys issue, like, they don't have any major problems. When you look at this team, I don't see any major problems with them.
I think the jumping off sides is very major.
But this is what I was gonna say.
If you're jumping off sides in the red zone, those are drive killers.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, but they're fixable things, and so that's the reason why I don't call it a major issue. I think their problem, it seems like it's a whole lot of little stuff. It's a whole lot of little stuff that adds up to be something big at the end. And that's what I believe.
That will come from either you making a touchdown or you kicking a field goal.
Well, but
you're getting nothing.
And here are the little things that I'm talking about. You talk about jumping off sides, right? Jumping off sides. Or Dez Bryant doesn't make the catch. Or Miles Austin doesn't secure the ball. Or, we get a pass interference call. Or, someone misses an assignment. You know what? I saw DeMarcus Ware in that game against Carolina completely lost as to who had the ball. I don't know if you remember watching this one play.
I think that might have been in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I think. I think that was in the first quarter.
And it seems like that little things like that will happen to the Cowboys, and a play like that will end up turning into a 60-yard touchdown. And we'll be sitting there going, are you kidding me? Did that just happen? But those are the kinds of but see, my thing is these are fixable things.
So do you think that we would have to sweat the game out if Dez Bryant doesn't drop the touchdown pass? I mean, because we kick a field goal, but okay, now we're sitting on pins and needles hoping that something miraculous doesn't happen. I mean, there would have been no doubt if we put a touchdown on the board, that game's in the bag. That's over.
And that,
Dez is looking for flags.
We keep saying,
I'm lost.
Catch the ball. Worry about catching the ball. Don't worry about the flag. Catch the ball.
And see, but you know what? But again, these are fixable things. Like, we know that Dez Bryant can make these catches. We've seen him do it. So I think that
when is he going to realize his potential? In week 9, week 10?
But you have. And you know what? And you're absolutely right. But what you have to remember is, again, we still got 10 games of football to play.
Okay, but this is pivotal.
And
we can't be looking down the road.
Well, wait a minute now. To his defense, Dez Bryant is a Giants killer.
To all of your defenses. To all of your defenses. Look, you can throw the crying out the window. You can throw all that looking for the flags. The ref is not going to bail you out. Make the play.
And you know what? And against the Giants, he always seems to make the play.
Okay, but
and you got to give him that.
In the first game, who made the plays?
Dez Bryant.
And where has he been? No. Kevin
Ogletree.
And where has he been? Where has he? They showed the stat on Sunday. He had 108 yards in the first game with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's only had 7 or 8 receptions since then. And 104.
Now you know what?
That's 5 games later.
Now you want to know my opinion of Kevin Ogletree? I think I say get him out of there.
Why?
Well, let me explain to you the reason why. Because Kevin Ogletree has some serious concentration problems. His issues. Yeah, his issues.
I don't think they involve him in the passing game.
No, I think they do. But I've seen Kevin Ogletree do some of the silliest things in the passing game. For example, he running a route and stopping and going, because he's not sure.
Crazy routes. He runs what he want to run at times.
But you have to understand that Kevin Ogletree is playing in the slot, and when you playing in the slot, look here, you have a better advantage than the receivers that are playing on the outside because you have a two-way go. You could either, go out into the flat, or you could go to the middle of the field. You just have more space to move around.
So you just don't put him in the passing game.
When I say, I think it's time to start Cole Beasley. Because
at this point, because of the fact is that it was what we know what he's capable of. So I'm like, okay, you got other teams that have their third guy. They still implement him. I mean, it might not be a game or two, whereas he might not have a lot of catches, but he hasn't even been involved. The Chicago game. Did he catch a pass in the Chicago game?
You know what? He should have caught a pass in the Chicago game, and it bounced off of his chest, and the ball got picked off. And that's what I'm saying. But my point is how can your quarterback trust you if you're doing stuff like that?
That should be the least in your worries. Okay,
sure.
Tony Romo as a leader should go to him and be like, look, man, let's get it together because I'm coming at you again.
Okay, if that's your argument, how can your quarterback trust you?
Yes.
So how can you trust your quarterback if you're wide open and he throws an interception?
The difference is the quarterback is the only guy on the team that's the quarterback. But you got a couple of different receivers out there. That's the difference. So the dynamics of position is just a little different.
The point should be you didn't distribute the ball. You got to be able to distribute the ball. You just can't be one dimensional. You can't just say, I'm telegraphing, or
who's the star receiver for Detroit?
Calvin Johnson.
Who's the star receiver for Arizona? When they need to play, who do
Fitzgerald.
These teams are going to their playmaking. We're going all off you're not fooling nobody.
But so you telling me that
Jason Witten the other day, if you watch Sunday, was he wide open? Tony Romo touched the ball at this juncture. He was scared to make a play. Tony Romo touched the ball and runs.
Did he get the first down?
So what you want, a touchdown or first down?
Well, what I'm saying is...
Because Jason Witten wasn't nobody around him at all.
Well, the thing about it is, the other thing you got to remember is sometimes you can't see everything on the field. And I'm not...
Seen it because that's where he was going. He pulled the ball and ran. I don't know if he didn't have the confidence to throw it or he didn't think he was going to catch it. I don't know.
Okay, but like we talked before, it's like, okay, well, if you're one of your receivers is not having a good game, like I'm saying, if we claim Tony Romo is a leader like he's supposed to be the leader, okay, it's nothing wrong with going over to Kevin Ogletree and be like, look, man, I got you. You know what? Okay, you dropped that, but I'm coming at you. Just be ready. I'm still.
But here's the catch though. But we're talking about through how many games? Like how many times can you say?
I think he was involved.
But how many times? I think he has been involved in the offense. What I've seen is I've seen him.
Because you can't go from GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
But when I look at that first Giants game, I just feel like that game, to him, it was a little emotional, because of the area where he was from. It was about his brother and all those different, and that's how I feel about that. Because since then, I haven't heard from him.
But like I'm saying, we know what he's capable of doing. Okay, so what if he drops the ball?
We don't know what he's capable of yet.
But everybody drops a ball.
But thing is would you?
Brian has dropped.
But think about this here. If you could put someone else in that slot position that you thought was more dependable than Kevin Ogletree, would you do it?
But we don't know that though, because we never seen Ben Cole.
Cole Beasley. I've seen this kid play, and I am telling you, he came from an offense that is dedicated to the pass, especially training receivers to run routes. He's an excellent route runner. He has good hands. The only knock on Cole Beasley, I would say, is probably his size.
Okay, but
other than that, man, this kid is dynamic. We need to start him.
Okay, but when we go back to the last segment when we were talking about asking a lot, we haven't seen this cat all season. So you're going to ask him to come into New York to play against the Giants?
Yes, I absolutely. You know what I absolutely. You know what I absolutely.
So overwhelmed.
I absolutely would do that. You want to know why? Because on the other side of that, explain to me, what do the Giants know about him?
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
So we know what we want to do with him, and that's the point.
Well, not necessarily. He might not be in the right frame.
He might be deer in the headlights.
Look here.
He might not be ready for that. He's like, man.
Let me ask you a question. When you put 3 receivers on the field, who do the Giants put in there on that slot receiver? Who do they put in? Do you know who that guy is? Exactly my point. So guess what? So here's the thing. So you get your best guy on the slot, man, right? If you get your best guy on the slot, man, and I said this before, you get your best guy on the slot, man, and you know what? Then that means I'll take my chances with what we can do on the outside against your worst corners. I'll take that.
So a guy like Cole Beasley, they're not going to put their best guy in there.
No, they're not. They're not.
So
they're not.
And you know what? And here's my thing. And if they don't, then that means they totally underestimated him. And I am telling you, Cole Beasley can play. This kid can play, man.
Well, we can't worry about if he can play, but my thing
I'm telling you he can play.
Work with what we got because Kevin Ogletree can make
Cole Beasley is a guy we got.
Honestly, I agree with you. But
Cole Beasley, Dwayne Harris.
No, what I'm saying is if he could play, he would be on the field.
Yeah, obviously.
Because now they're saying.
But you know what?
They're not saying they're saying it's practice habits. They're saying him in practice.
But you know what?
Not saying that. You're saying glimpses.
But that's not the reason why. That's not the reason why they don't suit him up. The reason that they don't suit him up is because you can only suit up so many guys and take them to games.
And obviously they got more faith than Kevin Ogletree.
It's not that. It's just that when you talk about.
He's a star. Well, I wouldn't say he's a star.
But because the problem is what we have to think about what he can contribute to us on special teams, and that's the only thing that keeps him from getting suited up.
So you're waiting for Kevin Ogletree to get hurt or something?
No,
they're gonna pop him.
No, what I'm saying is I think that for a few of these games, I think the Cowboys need to try out Cole Beasley. They need to get this kid involved in this offense. I'm telling you, because
now.
we have to. You know why? Because here's the thing. When I think about Cole Beasley, I think about a guy like that. I think about Lance Dunbar, the running back. See, what I see is these guys changing the tempo of the offense. They speed the offense up, and that's what the Cowboys really need. What they need is someone that's going to give them that bam, that's going to make teams have to account for them. It's just like when you play the Eagles. Come on. You have to account for McCoy coming out of the backfield, right? Regardless of what kind of coverage you playing, you have to account for this guy.
We're talking Cole Beasley and LaShawn McCoy. That's not even a comparison.
No. What I'm talking about Dunbar, his speed.
But
I'm comparing his speed. I'm comparing his speed. Well, I'm comparing their speed. I'm just talking about speed wise. I'm just talking about what
I'm
tempo.
About is, if
McCoy is McCoy.
If they seen this, what you're seeing in glimpses, if they seen that, he will be suited. But they're not saying that he's ready to take that next because. You got to think, Romo got some say. That's the only reason Ogletree's on the field now. Because Romo said, don't go get nobody else. I'm comfortable with Kevin Ogletree. That's why they didn't sign a Plaxico Burress. They didn't look for nobody else. Because Romo said, the third guy is in this locker room.
And the thing is that you mean to tell me, okay, from the very first game of the season, whereas he was lights out, that you mean to tell me he just can't be no factor at all? It just comes to show. It's not like he's getting double teamed.
Well,
okay, it could be sometimes he's not running the rock right.
Okay,
now,
so there you go.
He's an asset.
So there you go. So here's my question then. So since game one, 5 games. Yeah. What have we heard from Ogletree?
Right, and my opinion is that he's not even being looked. I mean, Tony Romo says that's my guy, but really, does Tony Romo trust him? And
exactly. I don't think.
Effective.
But listen, if you already know that you're not going to be
if you're playing
the ball.
If you're playing and you're playing, we playing. Okay, you're second string running back. He's third string. If you're not getting in, and then they say, "Hey, Allen, we need you."
Right.
But you ain't getting in. You ain't used to getting in. So you're gonna go and perform. You get one touch, and you're supposed to run 80 yards on one touch. I mean, I don't see that they go to Ogletree enough.
They don't go to him enough.
He blew a pass.
Okay, but
it seems
and
to
he
me.
still caught 12 balls against the Ravens.
But it seems to me when they go to Ogletree, he doesn't seem to be making the plays.
They go to him
we went to him when we went to him on Sunday. We went to him on Sunday, man. And look, and we didn't. You know why we didn't get a first down? You know why we didn't get? Because he bobbled the ball. I mean, it's just those little things that I see from him.
When you got used to getting the ball in 5 weeks, you can't just turn it over.
You cannot say.
Is Tony Romo? It could be 3 guys on him. He still throws him the ball. Yeah. It's other people on the team.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is,
they can make a play.
the Seattle Seahawks game, I'm like, what is Jason Garrett thinking about? He done dropped 3 balls in one game, and he was still trying to throw him the ball. My thing is just that you still cannot not throw him the ball.
But you got to throw to the open guy. Is Kevin Ogletree getting open?
He's not been open in 5 weeks. You can't tell me.
But once again, it goes back to what I was saying. He runs these lazy routes, man. He does.
I don't.
Kevin Ogletree. I want to see Cole Beasley. I want to see Cole Beasley because I'm telling you.
Because Kevin Ogletree, I'm gonna tell you, he's going to be a playmaker.
Like everybody calls for the second string quarterback. Why?
Well, listen.
He's second string for a reason.
Listen.
They asked for Brady Quinn.
Don't get me wrong.
You
know what? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you just take Kevin Ogletree and just throw him in the trash. I'm not saying that.
But what message would you send if you sit him down?
What I am saying is we need to get Cole Beasley involved in this offense. If the Cowboys want this offense to be more potent, if they want to have more options, if they want to be able to give teams more looks, if they want to give teams more things to worry about, they need to put.
Get himself involved in his offense.
Well, the thing is it's not his fault that they're not suiting him up. They need to suit him up.
And it's his fault because in practice they would say, "Look, he needs more reps on Sunday because he's showing us something." But he's not. He's showing them the basic. Okay,
but it has
he's going through his workout.
But it has everything. But it has everything to do with the whole special teams thing because he doesn't play. He's not a special teams player. So what the Cowboys are looking to do, especially with their, second and third guys, is they want those guys to be able to be active in other areas of the team. And so if we can't get him in on special teams, right? And so that's the thing. So because that if push come to shove, we can always put Kevin Ogletree back there to return kicks or punts and stuff like that. He can do that as well. So that's why he gets suited up.
Return some punts or something in preseason. Didn't they have him back there?
Yeah, they did, but.
Number 17, I mean,
he's a
good threat.
You talk about Dwayne Harris? Dwayne Harris.
They got Dez Bryant back there. They got Dez Bryant back there.
And he almost got hurt last week. Did he get hit in the head?
Yeah. And see, but this is.
But they ain't got no faith in the other guys to put him back there. They want to put him back there, and he's supposed to be our number 1 receiver. That doesn't even make no sense to me.
Now, Wilson don't return punts no more. He used to return punts, but you don't see them saying we're going to sacrifice.
You got a lot of money invested, just like he got a lot of money invested in Dez Bryant, and he got hurt last year catching, returning punts.
He pulled his throwing because he never wants to go down.
He's not like back there doing that.
The punt returner.
If you can't get nobody else,
take off.
If you can't get nobody else back there to punt, come on, catch punt returns. You know what I mean? You don't need your number 1. Your number 1 back there. No. That's crazy. You asking for trouble. So then now, let's say, heaven forbid, he does get hurt. Then, okay, we might get your man, Cole Beasley.
And we need to start,
but then he won't be a slot thing.
Right. Listen.
He'll be a number 2 receiver.
Yeah. Well, look. Well, you know what? Well, here's the thing. I'm telling you.
He's going to go in
I really believe that if the Cowboys get this guy involved in this offense, I really believe that he gives them more options. I think he gives the defense more things to worry about because I've seen, and the reason that I'm saying this is because what I've seen him do is I've seen him run routes.
What is this, Pop Warner? Everybody plays.
Well, but you know what I believe. You know what I believe.
When I he's doing something wrong that he's not on the field.
But when I look at Cole Beasley, and just his ability to run routes and that position and even his size, but you know who he reminds me of, and you're gonna remember I said this. If they get him involved in his offense, he's like Wes Welker. That's what we need.
Oh no!
I'm telling you, man. Okay. Well, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to. He's a Wes Welker. Listen, he's a Wes Welker type. You don't have to believe me, but I am telling you, if the Cowboys get this guy involved in his offense, and I really believe.
Well, what's wrong with Kevin? Why can't they get Kevin Ogletree involved?
Because Kevin Ogletree is not catching the balls. You've seen it.
He's not even. I don't even think Tony is really looking his way.
I wouldn't look his way either.
But you can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh man.
So if you had 9 catches, okay, you had 7 catches in game 1.
Let's see where Kevin Ogletree. This guy, man.
In game 1.
Yeah.
He had 7 catches, and that's my point.
So that means you're not getting it. If you only got 9 catches since, you only had 7 targets. 7 targets in 5 games.
Look at.
Well, okay, listen. We can't. Are we going to blame it on targeting, or can we say that he's not getting open?
No,
And see, you know what I mean?
You know
It's just
what?
6 of one or half a dozen of the other. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this here. He is not helping our offense. That's all. That's what I know. Bottom
think
line.
Some of that is Tony Romo's fault being as a leader. You know, all you got to do is say, "Look, home, I'm still coming to you. I believe in you. Let's make it happen."
But it seems to me that when he has gone to Ogletree, that Ogletree didn't make the play.
How often have you seen him in 5 weeks?
Listen, what I remember. Listen, in week
if he drops
week
the ball,
4.
if he drops the ball, he don't get the ball.
Right. He don't get the ball. Troy Aikman should do that.
Listen,
Troy Aikman was famous for
that ball hit Kevin Ogletree.
Doesn't matter.
Right between. It
Doesn't
does matter because guess what? Because you know why it matters? You know why it matters? It matters because the Cowboys were in the red zone. It matters because he needs to come. Listen. Do you know what the difference? The difference is maybe Dez dropped the ball. Maybe he dropped the ball, but the difference.
Maybe dropped.
Listen, but the difference is in the midst of his drop, he didn't turn the ball over. And this is what I'm saying.
Okay,
Kevin Ogletree.
Crucify the man.
But listen,
for who?
Our running back.
Vickers?
No, we got Felix Jones.
And
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray.
So if he fumbles the ball in the red zone, you saying he don't get no more carries?
No, you know why that's different? Because
how is that different?
Let me tell you why it's different. Because DeMarco Murray is going to come back the next play and he's going to give you something.
But how you know Ogletree's not?
Because he hasn't. Because he hasn't.
He threw 5 interceptions 2 weeks ago.
So why didn't he get pulled?
Why isn't he in crucial situations when we need a first down in the fourth quarter? We're running dive plays up the middle to set up for a field goal.
Because they didn't want him.
They didn't want him to throw the ball because they were afraid of a turnover.
Right.
Well, we talked about that. You talking about against Baltimore?
No, I'm talking about this week. Last week, we ran dive plays to prevent. Okay, Dez dropped.
Well, what I'm saying is, how do we know that it was to prevent Tony Romo from throwing the ball? He didn't throw no picks in that game. In fact, Tony Romo. In fact, he played.
That is his 227 is his lowest total of the season.
I understand all of that, but the thing is,
now look at this right here. 24 for 34 shows me it's about efficiency.
Yeah,
it's about a game management.
So now,
when he's thrown for 227, that means they are not trying to move the ball down the field.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Which way are we going to have it with Tony Romo? I mean, do we want him to be efficient? Or do we want him to?
My thing is, like I said,
I want him to be Tony Romo.
Like I said again.
What made him successful?
You have to understand, as far as he's concerned, he has to know. You can't turn the ball. He has to know that we know it, but he has to know it.
But what made Tony
live
Romo
for another down? Just live for another down. You ain't gotta force it.
And this is what I'm
manage the game.
And this is what I'm saying. I think that in these last couple of games, I think that what we're seeing. Tony Romo getting a little more comfortable, and that's what you want. You don't want it, but listen, I understand that. But
just focus on
listen,
1 or 2 receivers.
But you know what? We were talking about this, but you know what? We always talking about teams getting hot at the right time. Okay, and when I see the Cowboys, let me tell you something. I see them flying under the radar, but then I also see this here. I see their offense is ranked in the top 10. I see their defense is also ranked in the top 10.
And I see their scoring ranks in the bottom.
And that's and you know what? But here's my point. But what this team is becoming more efficient, and this is what needs to happen before all of those things happen. You need to become more efficient in taking care of the little things. And that's what Jason Garrett is making them concentrate on. He has to. Because when we start getting into the latter part of the season, it's going to be important.
We still going to be making them same stupid mistakes.
You don't know that. You don't know that. But we know.
Year after year.
Listen, but guess what? But every season is different.
Smith, how many penalties he got so far?
Listen, every season is different.
Those
we don't
drive killers.
I got you. But every season is different. We don't know what's going to happen, in these next few games coming up. We don't know. What I see, when I look at the Baltimore game, I think the Cowboys played. Matter of fact, I think they played a better game than what they played when they played the Giants the first time around. I really believe that. We lost the game, but I think statistically and just being able to manage themselves in that game, they handled them guys, man.
You know what? I've seen something different. Last week when we played Baltimore, I seen something. We were gassing them, but then I seen this week they got gassed again, and they got gassed the week before we gassed. So was it that really our game plan?
Or is it just they're that bad?
And so here we go then. So then that means that the Cowboys did exactly what they were supposed to do then.
Okay, but
right?
the thing is,
but here's the thing. But I would have been worried if we see them get gashed a week before they play us. Then they play us and we can't move the ball at all. And then they turn around the next week and get gashed again. Then I'm worried. But when I look at it, I'm saying, you know what the Cowboys did exactly.
We didn't really move the ball on them like we did against Baltimore. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, but the thing.
But my thing is, his whole focus after the bye week, we couldn't establish the run. Okay, well, against Baltimore, okay, he killed the run. Okay, all right. We understand that. We understand you're killing them on the run, okay? But we still got to score touchdowns. And we had 3 opportunities. And you know what? We settled for field goals. And that's not going to win no game on the road. That's not going to win the big game.
That's not going to beat the Giants this week.
That's not.
If you can't punch 7 in,
it's not.
I don't care if it's Ogletree, Witten.
So, but you're saying it like you don't. So you don't think our defense can shut them down?
I don't say. I wouldn't say our defense can shut them down.
Because what I'm thinking is, that the Cowboys win an ugly game this week. What they call an ugly game.
Well,
I see the Cowboys winning a 20-13 game.
Well, maybe, but
a 19 to 16 game.
Our defense
That's a fair assessment.
I see the Cowboys winning a game like that, and you know what? And see, to me, I'll take a win like that because you know what it tells me.
At this stage right now,
but you know what?
Put them at 1-4.
But you know what? Not
was it 1-3?
1-3.
Yeah, I'll
Right.
take the ugly win.
But you know what? But even better than that, the thing is I just want to see the Cowboys maintain discipline. Okay, no whole bunch of turnovers. And hold the Giants. Don't allow Eli Manning and those guys to get on the field. But
do you agree?
Who, Eli Manning or Tony Romo? So is Eli.
I'm just saying.
So is Eli.
So we're hypocrites if we're saying, okay, we want Michael Vick. We want them to take the handcuffs off of Michael Vick and allow him to be Michael Vick. I think Tony Romo is the same way. His effectiveness, what made him effective?
By him get out of the pocket and make plays.
Aggressively downfield, making. We don't want him to make the crucial mistake. That's him right there. Where you got to say, should I throw this or shouldn't I?
When he's thinking and playing in a box, that's when he makes those mistakes.
Yeah, he fumbles the ball because he's trying to pitch it when he knows what he got to do. I give Romo all the credit in the world. When he knows the game plan, knows what he has to do, he'll do it. Like, okay, last year, we had linemen hurt, this and that. We beat the Redskins. We kicked all field goals to beat them. With Romo was the leader of that game.
And I will take a win like that. I will absolutely take a win like that.
At this game, in this junction right now, to get them 1-4, but games aren't always going to be like that. It's going to be games whereas you got to trust. You got to trust your receiving core. You got to trust your offensive line. And if that is if that's not working for you, you can't put our team in a bad spot.
But here's the thing.
That's all I'm saying.
So to me, what this game is going to depend on is our defense. So we're going to have to wrap up here because we've actually run out of time. But so your picks, who's going to win? Giants or Cowboys?
Cowboys all day.
Cowboys. I mean, the way you talking, you making it sound like that. We can go in there and get slaughtered by the Giants.
I'm being real. And I just don't want the Cowboys to find a way to lose the game. Just find a way to lose the game.
You're a Giant fan, huh? We got a Giant fan in the gallery.
Back in the gallery.
And guess what?
So,
Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys got this as well. So, anyway, this is in the end of our segment of the Fan Spot. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Chad and Dre, and of course I'm Jeff, and we'll see you the next time on the Fan Spot.